You get sweet tea at McDonald's?
You've never had a sweet tea from McDonald's?
Not at McDonald's.
You should.
That's a Chick-fil-A type of drink.
It's good at McDonald's too.
Oh. Malcolm, how do you feel about that?
Hi, Malcolm.
Hey guys. I don't get sweet tea from McDonald's. I only get McFlurries, to be honest, is my thing.
That's fair.
I'm vegetarian, so I don't get the burger. Maybe I'll get some fries if I'm hungry, but
You're vegetarian for real?
yeah, since I was a little kid.
Hell yeah. So
And
that whole cheese pizza diet's cool with you?
I try to eat healthy, honestly.
No, I've been seeing you, honestly, like when we've gone to the fucking house and I be seeing you like order your bowls and shit like that. I'm like, this probably is the first time I've seen healthy food enter a DeGods house ever.
Yeah, that's facts.
There's a lot of talk about trying to make us all healthy, get everybody to work out and stuff like this, but I'm the only one who sneaks off to the
Wait,
gym.
who's leading that talk?
Me?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Look at that, a positive influence on the squad.
What would crypto Twitter do if they walked into like a Web3 event down the road 2025 and Frank's jacked his shit? Like that would just
I think he'll get there. Honestly,
You think so?
I have faith. Yeah. He's a very like maniacal person. He gets obsessed on certain things. Right now it's crypto. Also, he has a slight poker obsession. But when he sinks his teeth into something, he sticks with it. So he's not health maxing right now, but I think there
If
will
that
be a
turns
time.
into weightlifting, that's gonna be.
It's gonna be scary.
it's over
gonna
for
be some
Web3.
shit.
It's gonna be scary,
He's
yeah.
gonna pull up receipts and start cracking faces. You know,
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? So Malcolm, I feel like you're like the one figure in Web3 that everybody knows but also doesn't know at all. So I feel like we got to get to know you in this episode.
Cool.
Who the hell is Malcolm?
the
DeGods?
fucking goat,
Damn.
the gem of DeGods and Dust Labs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm chief of staff at D Labs, so we run DeGods and Utes. But before that, I was just a crypto nerd, basically. I fell into crypto when I was 18, freshman year of college.
Wait, how old are you now?
23.
Okay, just needed the context. Okay.
Yeah. So it's been 5 years since I got into Bitcoin. But yeah, freshman year of college, got into it through one of my professors and went down the rabbit hole. That spring was sent home for COVID from school. And the halvening happened May 11th. And just got like obsessed with just the concept of decentralization and like crypto as a force for good in the world. It was a very like ideological thing at first. But as I got deeper into it, learned about Ethereum, I was like, I probably want to dedicate my career to this thing. It seems like where all the smart young people are going. And it kind of combined all my interests. I was interested in finance, interested in startups, business, economics, all these different things. And it felt like crypto, just combined all of those interests into one thing, and super exciting. So yeah, been here since.
Did your professor see the guy with the moguls?
I sent it to him. Yeah.
I swear, what did he say?
He was so hyped.
Hell yeah.
He was so hyped. Yeah.
That's funny as fuck.
Freshman year, I took a class. His name's Peter Rajsingh. He's a legend. But freshman year, I took a class of his, and it was on the global financial crisis of 2008. And we learned. Yeah, not a great time. But we learned about the GFC, and the upshot of the class was basically like these bankers have no incentive to do the right thing and no disincentive to do the wrong thing. Right? There's a lot of moral hazard in the banking industry. And they create these like credit default swaps and mortgage-backed securities. They rehypothecate them over and over and over again. Of course, like the average person loses their house, they default on their mortgage, and the bankers all get bailed out by the government, right? So like it's a pretty big mismatch in terms of outcomes. And he gave us the Bitcoin white paper for assigned reading. And we talked about it as kind of like a solution to this problem, right? Democratizing finance. It resonated with me deeply. And got me pilled.
There we go. Shout out to your professor. I mean,
he's a goat.
Man, I wish I had professors like that in college. That would have been real nice. I mean, to be fair, I was in college before Bitcoin was invented, so.
That's not true.
Well, 2010?
2011.
Early
you were in
days.
college, right? 2011, 2012. That's early Bitcoin.
But my first college classes, back in the day. But, so then how did you end up getting, like, when did you get into NFTs? When did you get into DeGods, all that stuff?
Yeah, so part of my education, they forced you to get academic credit via work experience. And so I was crypto pilled. And so I started knocking on doors trying to get an internship. Ended up working for a decentralized stablecoin company as an intern for 6-7 months during COVID. And then joined a decentralized exchange after that, kind of in like a BD capacity. And funny story about that is I joined I think in November, And on December 1st, it got hacked. It launched late November, and then 3 days after it launched, it got hacked by the Lazarus Group.
Oh no.
$30 million down the drain to the North Koreans. So spent some time there trying to dig the protocol out of the hole that the hack dug, but it was pretty much a lost cause. And so, yeah, graduated school, joined Fireblocks, which is an institutional wallet company doing BD, so selling into VC firms, banks, Web3 companies, GameFi companies, etc. But it was very corporate. The protocols I worked at were small and scrappy, and this company, Fireblocks, has like 500 people. So I liked it. Great team, great product, doing amazing work, but I felt a little bogged down by the corporate vibe. And so I started doing consulting work for different startups in the space, and met the DeGods guys just through the crypto scene in New York. And it was right before Points Parlor kind of started.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. It was right before Points Parlor started, and they needed a BD guy to come and sell.
Wait, had you heard about DeGods prior to like meeting the homies in New York, or like had you seen the collection before or anything like that?
I'd seen DeGods, but I was much more focused on DeFi at the time. I wasn't too deep into NFTs, honestly, until I joined the company. So I was a little bit later. Try to study the history as best I can, and it's not too hard living with these guys now. But I wasn't like an NFT head early days. I wasn't on Top Shot or anything like that. I was trading DeFi tokens, and like I was really into like DAO governance and stuff like that, which looking back seems like a different world completely. But yeah, DeGods was like my first real entrance into NFTs. But yeah, so I joined the team as a contractor while I was still full-time at Fireblocks. And they're basically like, we got to sell this product to sponsors, right? We got to get sponsored money so we can give it to the community through the point system. And yeah, like 2 weeks in, I sold Kraken on a sponsorship. They ended up buying the Tesla that we gave out. And so, you know, I think they liked that. The team liked that. And they said, you want to come on full time? And I said, absolutely.
What did you think when you saw the reaction to Points Parlor being that new to the team? Like, how was that whole just like 3 weeks for you specifically? Because like, yeah, I mean, to be honest, like to your credit, like as a BD, you literally closed like what, 500,000 sponsorships, 4 Points Parlor. Like that's a fucking dub when you're talking about BD work. Like that's a dub. But like seeing it play out on crypto Twitter and like kind of being new to NFTs, how was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was a shock. I felt really good. I was like, I performed well. You know, I like put to the test for this month of work. I had to work 2 jobs. I was really hustling, like meetings all day, working 14-hour days. And then Points Parlor came out, and there was just a lot of negative content from the community. And so
you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this game is actually a little more challenging than I was anticipating. It wasn't just going to be dub after dub after dub. And it was pretty much down only, actually, since I've joined. Still to this day. And we embrace it now. Let it go lower, I think, has been a really positive thing for the community, pruning the complainers. But yeah, it's been down only since I joined.
It is funny as fuck when you think about it. Like,
you know, you're due for a W.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, like Malcolm needs to take a W within DeGods, and that's something to look forward to, right? Like, you know, like this guy's not gonna go anywhere till he gets that fucking dub. Like, you can see it on his face. Like,
no, yeah. I mean, and I think we've had dubs.
Bro been locked in.
I think we've had a lot of dubs. Whether it's like, you know, Frank taking the reins back, and kind of rebuilding the culture to what it was pre-corporate days. So even Let It Go Lower has been really good, like I said, to get all the community members who are here for the wrong reasons out of the community. And even just on like a personal level, right? We have a lot of guys who are here just complaining on the timeline every day about their NFT project, right? About their own community flooding their own bags. And we're in an environment right now where you can go buy a meme coin and change your life every single day. You know, you can buy a pump fund ticker and make ridiculous sums of money. So it's a minus EV thing to do to FUD your own community and be in a community that makes you unhappy. So yeah, I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot right now, and the market doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. So we'll see what happens to NFTs, but feeling pretty good.
Before we go any further, I want to move your mic a little bit.
Oh, you're good.
He just wanted to get close to your face.
Yeah, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
Cool.
Okay.
You could just say you wanted to get close to Malcolm.
You
Like,
know, of course.
you know.
Of course. But okay, so here's my question for you on that. So obviously with like Bitcoin and whatnot, you get basically red pilled on that through the whole experience, talking to your professor, going through everything about just kind of how the financial system that we have and kind of how Bitcoin and everything can change that. So what about DeGods really red pilled you?
It's a good question. I think I realized after getting deeper into ETH and into the DeFi scene that the route for crypto to succeed in the world is honestly more of a culture problem and an evangelism problem than it is a technical problem. There are technical blockers, right? Like transaction speeds, wallet UX, all these different things. But at the end of the day, mass adoption is going to come from like building culture, getting people into it, making people have a good time, allowing people to build connections with others that resonate with the same value systems as them. And so DeGods, in many ways, is on the bleeding edge of doing that. And so, yeah, that was the kind of like the transition that I had from just kind of thinking about the tech more and working in DeFi to like, you know, let's try to make this thing a cultural movement. Let's get involved with community building. Yeah, that's what sold me on DeGods and joining the team.
I think honestly, when you take that approach and you think about like a casino, right? Like when I took a casino management class in college. It was one of the craziest classes I've ever taken. It was taught by an old pit boss in Vegas, and he actually talked about in their community. And he said because when you walk into a casino, your odds are already stacked against you from the moment you walk into that. We know that we're going to win. The longer you stay there, the higher likelihood that we win. But no matter what, the moment you step in, you put chips down, we are going to win. And so he said, but one of the reasons why people go back, even though they lose money every single time, is because they have a great experience, right? Whether it's people around them at a blackjack table, or whether they're doing the slots and they're having fun doing that, or whether they're getting their free drink, even though technically they're paying for it. They just don't even realize that they're paying for it, but they come back because the experience is still fun, and you happen to be paying for an experience, right? And so I do think community is such a part of it, and I do think with crypto, a lot of this is a casino. There are people who win a lot. There's also people who lose a lot, but people still have fun doing the whole experience, and that's part of why we stay here during a bear market and why it's even more fun when we're in a bull market, because we've gone through the trenches together and things like that. So I think there's a lot of similarities, honestly, between casino and gambling culture and then crypto. And I think when you mix the two together, you find that we have a lot of fun here. And again, it's like, that's why a lot of us are here. Like, you know, we can, if you want to stay safe and smart and everything like that, you can go invest into the S&P 500 and it does its thing, you know. But if you want to actually have fun, I mean, crypto's where it's at. And
yeah,
well, that's why a lot of us like to do the things we do in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an experience. And I think that culture part is so, it's so important. You're still seeing it today, which is why it's even funny. You're like seeing people that complain so much about like the NFT market being down and like all this shit, because you could still buy an NFT today and like find people, find a niche of people, find a group of people to cook with, like make friends, have a good experience, like get engagement on the timeline, get dopamine and all this stuff. And like NFTs are down and have been down for a while, and it's like you can still do that. And even seeing all the people that like rallied around Iggy when she changed her PFP, like that alone shows me that it's like, nah, there's something here about like having these NFTs like represent your digital identity while you're experiencing the space, even if you're fucking like on Pumped.Fun every day, or you're on Photon, right, or you're fucking like wherever you're at. There's still a level of having that be your identity and talking with people in the space that like it pushes that culture forward for sure.
Yeah, I think the way I look at this is like NFTs are equal opportunity, not equal outcome. And what that means is like anybody can buy an NFT and join a community, but the only way you're going to get asymmetric returns and change your life is if you grind, whether that's building a personal brand or being in the trenches with meme coins, or, you know, building a product. There's all these different avenues to make it, quote unquote, but buying an NFT and holding it passively is not the route for anyone. At one point, it kind of was, right, when you had the NFT bull run and people were making hordes of money.
People were staking and like they were
and the Ponzi-nomics were there, but these days it requires some more grit. But it's cool because, I mean, if you've been around for, last bear market and now this bull market, I think people kind of have caught on, right? If you're like not trading meme coins right now, I don't know what you're doing in crypto, because there's just so much upside there, and it's not, there's a lot of edge too, right? It's not like it's rigged against you. The quants haven't taken it over. There's a cultural aspect. You can get in group chats. You can get early information. You can be a good meme spotter. There's all these different things you can do that, can really change your life. And that's kind of how I see it.
And you could cook with your people, so you can cook with your
100%,
community. Like
100%.
I know they've had the decap like Telegram or some shit like
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
like,
we
been
started
going
it.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and it's just like, all right, like you get in the space, like you can find people to get information from, share information, like get entered into some of those group chats just off of like whatever your PFP is.
Yeah, I think Telegram has been huge. I mean, I know personally I spend all of my time now either on Twitter or Telegram. At one point in time, everybody was in Discord, but now with meme coins, it seems like Telegram is where it's at.
Yeah.
We always say like Telegram is SocialFi, right? Because what is it? It's a social group of people who get together to chat about tokens that are culturally made, and trade them. It pretty much is like social finance in many different ways. So I think, Telegram is going to be a big part of our strategy moving forward. I think we want to build out more alpha chats for all the different segments of traders, and get some gated ones going for the goated people as well. But Telegram is the shit.
Telegram really is. I've been using that for better half of like probably close to, almost a decade now. Because when I first moved out to LA, my whole group chat back in like college and whatnot, we started using Telegram. And so, to be honest, when everybody started trading meme coins on Telegram, I was like, this might be my happiest moment in crypto, because I hate Discord with a burning passion.
Yeah.
So everybody getting on Telegram, very bullish on all of that.
All
But
my homies hate Discord.
it's truly the worst UI experience of any social network I've ever seen in my life, and I hate the people who designed it. And I've said that before, and I'll say it again. It's terrible. So, sorry if they're listening, but hate them. Truly hate them. So it is what it is. It's just so bad. It's like, man, we've been here for so long. You still can't make it better. Disappointing. But
The deals happen on Telegram.
But I think
Facts.
what was interesting is that you said there, it's like, the space moves quickly, and there are the people who are here who are like, God, I just don't like meme coins or whatever. And I'm like, listen, I'm not saying you're going to love every aspect of crypto. And I think that's the part about it that I think people have this like idea in their mind, or this fascination that crypto is going to cater to the aspect of it that they enjoy, right? And so there's all these people that are like, there are plenty of people who are decentralization maxis, and it's like, that's great. There's always going to be plenty of people who care about that, and there's also going to be plenty of people who don't give a fuck about that, and you have to accept both groups. There are people who hate meme coins. There are people who love meme coins. There are people who are waiting on the next celebrity to drop a token, and there are people who absolutely despise that celebrities are dropping tokens. You got, all these different things, and I think a lot of times it holds people back by they focus so much on the certain aspects of the space that they hate, instead of just learning to operate with it, because the space is going to move in whatever direction it so chooses. Right now, people are enjoying buying and selling meme coins on Solana, and right now that's where the space is at. Who knows where it goes 6 months from now? Maybe it goes further into this. Who knows where it ends up? But like, the worst thing that you can do is be so stuck in your ways, old man yelling at clouds, being like, why are they doing this now? And it's like, to those people, I'm like, man, that's why we got into crypto to begin with, because we were tired of the people who were just like, we're just stuck with the US dollar. Like, fuck it, we're not going to do anything different. We're like, no, why don't we try out this crypto thing? Why don't we get further into this? And now some of those same people sound like the old fogies who wouldn't get into crypto, who are like, it's a scam, yada, yada, yada. Those same people who are negative towards meme coins, it's like, brother, people are enjoying it and having fun with it. Just let it be. Like, you're not going to get all of a sudden people to stop buying and selling meme coins. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's worth hating on the current meta. Of course, you can always have critiques of what's happening. I know a lot of people have certain feelings about the celebrity meta that's going on right now. But I will say to this point, to be in crypto doesn't require you to be trend hopping. And I do think that, people who are constantly on whatever's hot in the current moment, what they can miss out on is having like a longer term vision and a very values driven bet. So there's a lot of builders in the space on the kind of like deeper infra level, or even building SocialFi apps or GameFis that have like a really long term time horizon, right? They're trying to be here in 10 years. And so they make the bet basically, yeah, sure, I could make 100x on a Solana shitter right now, but I'd rather go build my game, and I want crypto to exist in this, like, you know, in their vision of it in this other way down the road. And I think there's a lot of merit to that as well. So I don't think being here requires you to stay up to date with the current trends. If you have a long-term vision and you're deep in the trenches building your own thing, I think that's super cool. But yeah, I mean, hating on people making money is a losing strategy every single time.
I think at least trying to understand the current meta. I'm not saying you have to partake in it, but understanding the current meta I think is very important, because this space, I mean, I've been in crypto now for 8 years or whatever, and it's like it changes all the time. And like what people talk about changes all the time. And so you do at least have to understand why people are talking about certain things. And I think if you do that, then you'll find your niche of where you fit in amongst that. But again, there are so many people that are like, well, hey, I prefer when like the time period was like X, Y, and Z. You know, right now you have all the people that are like, hey, remember when this NFT was, you know, 1,000 SOL floor price or whatever? And I'm like, do I need to remind you what the price of SOL was at that time? Would you like to go back to that? Because you know, sure, if you could predict the future and knew that we'd be where we're at now, then yes, we would all love to go back to those times. But those times were not the most fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, when
people made their own bets at that time, right? Like people like sold NFTs and like just accumulated the SOL and was just like, this is my bet, and made a fucking bag in the last year by selling those NFTs at those crazy prices too, when it was going on, when SOL was down. So it's like, I just think, to your point, like there are so many different ways to make a play and make a bet. And you don't necessarily even need to have FOMO. Like you could be someone that like doesn't like this meme coin shit and not participate in any meme coin and just be happy other people are making money and all your money is on fucking like some shit that you're like longer term in the next year, 2 years, it's gonna be bagged the fuck up.
Well, you could be just spot buying Solana or whatever, right? And
Literally.
like just be like, hey, I'm just waiting for Solana to go up. Or to be honest, even the person who's like, you know what, I really love NFTs. It's like, dude, we saw Claynosaurus damn near double in price in the last week, right? So it's like, okay, there was one where there was the opportunity right there, the damn near double. You'll take a double
like
all day, every day.
There's essentially opportunities here where it's like people aren't talking about it on a daily basis, but if you're spotting certain things or like depending on what your investment strategy is, like, yeah, those plays exist. They're here right now. Like Jupe is another good one, I think, on that same wave. Or, you know, just because this guy's sitting next to me, Crown could be, you know, potentially a good longer term play. I don't know, for horses and shit. But
I think we have to do clarify because there's no camera on Aaron. We got our boy Aaron DeGods in the house, who's sitting there who
has a horse empire. So you know,
got a horse empire and a pack of Zins sitting on his lap. So look at the man.
I will say, like, we were talking about culture earlier. I think the culture of crypto, though, if you want to be on the bleeding edge and you want to be up to date with everybody around you on crypto Twitter, then staying up to date with the current trend is by far the most positive EV thing to do.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Because like if you're backdated a few weeks, you have even a few days, right? You take a few days off crypto Twitter, like you have no idea what's going on. And I think the like ADHD TikTok Zoomer brain gets off on new metas all the time, new stuff popping, shitcoins right now, being hot and like following those trends. So from a cultural standpoint, I think it's very positive to stay up to date with everything that's happening.
I think too, like, you know, there's obviously some people that don't like the current metas and stuff like that. And I think about it and I'm like, man, listen, if you're a Solana maxi and right now you're like, hey, I hate the celebrity meme coin meta or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, does this not make you bullish on Solana though? How easy it is to onboard people? Like that part, take the celebrity aspect out of it, whatever. The ability to onboard people has never been better than what it is right now with Solana. So I look at this and I'm like, hey, do I absolutely love the celebrity meta? I don't love it. But what I do love the fact is that all of these people are coming into Solana and the experience has been great in terms of like people have an easy time understanding it. They have an easy time figuring out Phantom, all of that kind of stuff. And so to me, it's like, dude, when I think about like the true bull market, when prices are going crazy and everything like that, the ability for people to come into Solana and have an easy experience makes me feel good about the Solana that I'm holding, right? So yes, you can not love one meta of it, but also think critically and be like, okay, long term, this is great for me. It's just right now, I may not like the current meta, and that's okay.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, if you're bullish on Solana and you're complaining about meme coins, you just go look. Like Solana's doing great work. PayPal is going to launch a stable coin on Solana. You have Super Team.
We had PayPal and Iggy pop off same week. Like it's like you get the best of both worlds.
There's plenty of other things that are more like higher brow, quote unquote, to pay attention to.
I feel like the inevitable is to, or at least what a hopeful inevitable is like you come in through meme coins and then you start seeing the other stuff that is being built here, even if it's 1 or 2 tokens or like whatever protocols you want to pay attention to. But even if you expand out like, I don't know, 10-20%, that's already fucking way better than when we were like even 6 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think the risk with the celebrity meta is that it onboards people into an immediate rug, basically, right? Because you have these normie audiences who follow celebrities, and the celebrity drops its coin, they post it on their Instagram, they post it on Twitter, you go, you figure it out, you get the Phantom wallet, you buy it, and then they rug you immediately, and that's a pretty terrible experience that might keep you away from crypto for a few years.
No, 100%. But I mean, to be honest, it kind of reminds me of the fucking early NFT days where it's
100%.
like
Yeah.
people were fucking getting onboarded and they were getting rugged like a couple days later or whatever, and you've been promised all of these things.
Yeah.
I think at the very least with the meme coins, it's like you're not really promised that much. You're just like, it's tied to a celebrity and it's tied to attention. Like, this shit could very well go to, I think it's easier to stomach like a meme coin going to zero than like when you were sold a fucking roadmap on like this full
100% agree.
business and shit.
And I also think the flip side is that it could be a positive experience for onboarding to crypto. If you have, I mean, Iggy right now is probably the like the blue chip example of a celebrity who's come in, who knows about the space, who understands kind of how DeFi works and how tokens work and what the ethical thing is to do. We'll see what happens
Great
with
memes,
it. But
great videos.
You a fan of her videos, Sonny?
The memes are great.
Yeah,
The memes are great.
Which one specifically?
I don't know. There's a couple with the chart with the bars going up.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one she dropped of Vitalik the other day was wonderful. Some good memes and videos.
Yeah, they're very well rounded. You know, very well rounded videos. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
You know.
Just applauding Iggy.
All right. Yeah. We're just applauding.
Yeah.
Clap. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Iggy. Thank you for the enjoyment or for the content. You know, we're enjoying it. Yeah. You know, shout out to her doing a podcast with the boy TG.
Facts.
You know, but we need her on the couch.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
Come on now.
Relax. That is not the way to invite her to the fucking podcast.
Okay, what's the proper way to invite her?
Hey Iggy, would you like to come on our podcast?
That's what I was saying. Iggy, we would love to have you on the podcast.
All right.
Come sit with us.
We gotta.
We'll kick Aaron out. Sorry, Aaron.
The guy with the moggles.
Yeah, the guy with the moggles.
You got to tell us the story.
Tell us the behind the scenes.
I remember you hitting me a couple days before you going out to the fucking dinner and stuff, but like going into it, getting ready, and like while you were actually there, like did you have that plan in your head the entire time that you wanted to ask that question? Like, just walk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, backstory is
Bro went viral.
Is that the Trump NFT team approached Frank before their first mint just to give some advice. And Frank helped them out. Obviously, the mint went very well, and they've done a few successive mints that have done very well. And one of the perks of being a whale of this NFT, the Trump NFT, is to go to Mar-a-Lago and do a meet and greet with the president. And so we got the invite from Frank's advisory, basically, to go out to Mar-a-Lago. And we brainstormed some ideas before we went, like what we want to do. We initially thought that we were going to be meeting him, like there was going to be a meet and greet. We're going to go up, shake his hand, take a photo, whatever. And so we were trying to think about like funny things we could ask him about crypto or DeGods or this and that. But anyway, we show up to the event and it's kind of in this like the lawn of Mar-a-Lago. There's a pool. It's very bougie. There's a little podium set up. And we start mingling with people there. And it's just the craziest group of people I've like ever met in my entire life. The first guy we met was like telling us he owns like a few NBA teams. It's like some private equity mogul. Next guy we talked to was saying how he's excited because he just got into Elon's like XAI fundraising round. This is like the cabal. Like we have the crypto cabal. This is like the
life cabal.
Yeah, this is like the world cabal. And so all of our funny ideas of like trying to get a joke or a viral moment with Trump kind of like fell to the wayside. And then, he came out, gave a little speech, and then opened it up for Q&A. And honestly, I just kind of like, I was realizing in the moment that this was kind of something special, right? Trump's like talking about NFTs. This is like, he's talking about NFTs, talking about crypto. He's a former president of the United States, maybe going to be the next president. So we just started filming everything he was saying and posting, like live cap cutting it on our phones, posting on Twitter, and they started going crazy right away, like while we were there watching.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, Frank and I were kind of back and forth trying to figure out a question to ask. And then, I mean, the thought process was basically like, if I could just ask the president a question and it was a serious setting, which that setting was pretty serious, like what would I ask? And I'm a crypto native. I care about the space. Obviously, the regulatory environment in the United States has been pretty horrible for a long time. There's no clarity. People are operating under like very nebulous rules. And so I just asked the question, like, you know, all these crypto people are leaving the US. This is a really important industry. It could be a big power for the US economy. And it's being stifled because the government can't get their shit together. And so, yeah, I asked the question, posted on Twitter, and it went very viral. It went pretty viral at first. I think it got like, you know, 600-700K views, got some retweets, some engagement. And then a week later, the ETF got approved for Ethereum, and FIT21 went through as well. So that gave me some more exposure. But yeah, it wasn't premeditated, really. I think it was actually a pretty genuine question, kind of spur of the moment type thing.
What was that like afterwards? Like after you get back to, and you're like, holy shit, like this video's going nuclear and people are running with this.
Even aside from the video, like after you asked the question, was there people that like were coming up to you or like asking you more questions, like trying to have that conversation with you?
Not really. The Q&A went on for like 2 hours.
Okay.
And so I asked the question maybe an hour in, but then he was just he was fielding more questions for the rest of the time. And Frank and I left the event early. We didn't go to the dinner because we wanted to go back and edit the video. But yeah, there was no, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, like just getting more into politics as like a NFT person, crypto person has been pretty interesting. Talked to a lot of reporters and people with boots on the ground in DC trying to make, pro crypto regulations happen in the US. And it's funny because I originally thought, like I put out a tweet right after it happened about my predictions of what was going to happen next. I thought Trump was going to accept crypto donations for his campaign and he was going to get a slew of money thrown at him from the crypto community. I thought the response from the Democrats was going to be like defamatory, like crypto is this illegal money and there's terrorists and horrible people contributing to the Trump campaign using it as their method of payment. But what happened is actually the opposite, right? The Democrats went ahead and approved the ETF right away. I mean, it was Gensler and these guys. It wasn't actually the Democrats per se, but you can assume. And my conclusion was just like, yeah, the Democrats are just as greedy, right? Like both of these people just see crypto as this pot of money, and the Democrats want it to fundraise for their campaign. Biden wants to come out as pro crypto, and Trump wants it as well. So it ended up being more favorable than I initially anticipated, but yeah.
Hey, listen, if we get both of them to start arguing over who's more pro crypto, that would be an amazing thing.
Yeah,
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Let's dick size who's the bigger pro crypto person.
Jesus Christ. I can't even envision that fucking debate. That just
yeah, it's rough. I mean, but Biden then so it was like the Democrats were pro crypto for a week.
But then he vetoed
and then he
that
vetoed the custody bill.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, yeah,
we need another clip of you to go viral now.
And,
we'll see.
We'll see.
So yeah. So what was that? What was that like afterwards in terms of like, I don't know, did you feel like, holy shit, we just did something extremely powerful? Because I mean, I do feel like, again, when the crypto history books are written, they have to include
DeGods saved the US through Malcolm.
Yeah, I've never had a viral moment in my life before. So it was just
I swear to God, bro. The photo of you turning around, you got to put that shit on a t-shirt, honestly.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was cool to see the crypto Twitter rally around it for sure. But yeah, the accusations or the claims of like they're comparing me to like the Archduke Ferdinand who was murdered and started the First World War and all this stuff. And I kind of it's like crypto legislation and being pro crypto in Washington. It's been such a long fight for so many people that have dedicated, like Brian Armstrong, for example, Brad Garlinghouse, Blockchain Association, Paul Grewal. All these guys have spent years and years and years fighting for this. And crypto Twitter, I feel like, doesn't keep up with it too much, honestly. And so my moment was just a small contribution to a much bigger fight, but it was cool to see the support from the community.
Yeah, 100%. No, that was it was a very cool moment to see everybody in crypto Twitter really rally around something, being excited to see you. Honestly, it wasn't even about politics at that point. It was a very cool thing to see you talking to the former president about crypto, having him have a pro crypto response, then having the ETF approved shortly thereafter. It's like, hey, call it what you want. That's a great chain of events. You know?
Yeah.
So
No, it was cool.
yeah. So then what are you looking forward to, I guess, this like second half of the year? I mean, I think we obviously have a lot coming up. We got the election, obviously politics and crypto are going to go hand in hand this next 6 months as people are talking about it more and more and more. Do you see yourself going to DC anymore, to like DC yourself, I don't know, trying to get involved in, I guess, like raising the crypto question more to more and more politicians?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a strategy around it. So right now, something that's interesting is that FIT 21 passed Congress, but it did not pass. It has to pass the Senate too. And in order to get to the Senate, it has to go through this thing called the Senate Banking Committee. They rewrite the bill and then they present it to the Senate. Right now, the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee is this guy named Sherrod Brown, who is historically very, very anti-crypto. He's a senator from Ohio. But he is up against an opponent in this election. I think it's in November. A guy named Bernie Moreno, who was a former blockchain executive. And so if we can dethrone Sherrod Brown, then I think it ups the chances, at least marginally, for FIT 21 to pass. And so I think this is like a cool thing to activate around. We're trying to get in touch with his campaign right now to see if we can get Bernie on a Twitter space or something like that with us and just kind of educate the people around it. But yeah, I'm personally interested in it much more than I was, I think, pre-Trump. Like, it seems like as a community, crypto Twitter can get rallied around these things and actually make a difference. And so just trying to educate myself where I can and see if there's little elections or fights that we can try to win on behalf of crypto for the US.
So when certain things like this are happening, like, obviously there's always going to be some DeGod holders who look at this and they go, well, are they more focused on, X, Y, and Z more than like pumping my bags per se, right? Like that's obviously always going to be like the number one thing
we're trying to pump everybody's bags.
Yeah. So can you, I guess, like, for those people and whatnot, can you explain to them, I guess, kind of some of the like big brain thinking on why it's important to stay in the forefront, I guess, of these topics, or to just stay like learning in general about the space and kind of moving along with it and like kind of figuring out what does that next chapter of DeGods look like? Because again, the space is moving quickly and we always want DeGods to, adapt and move with it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think that we want to be here for a very long time. Like we're not looking to exit DeGods in the next few years. We want to be here for the long run. And so I think making bets on things like, I mean, right now it's a small bet that we're making, and it's a small kind of allocation of our time, but being up to date with the political environment and how crypto is going to be affected by who wins the presidency is something like super interesting on just like an intellectual level and also as a part of the crypto community. And so I think that in many ways, our personal interests as the core team are reflected in what we do with the community, because we're crypto natives, our community is crypto native, and we want to have some semblance of alignment there. And it's always great when you go to an event and you meet holders in real life, and you guys are kind of like aligned, you have the same interests, same values, all these different things, because that's how friendships are formed. And so I think that this goes back to let it go lower, right? Like if you're unhappy with what the core team is doing and the types of content that we're putting out and what we're focused on, I think it's you have every right to exit the community. You can hit the sell button and go join something else. But if you're satisfied here, if you think it's interesting, if you think what we're doing is cool, or other community members what they're doing is cool, then I think you have every right to stick around, and it's a great community in my opinion. So.
Can you talk about the, you mentioned IRL events in there for a second.
Yeah.
Right now, and I know you came onto the team, I guess, at the beginning of whatever that was, like August 2023.
Yeah,
right?
about 10 months ago.
Bro, okay. I met Malcolm in Miami for the first time at at that IRL event in Basel.
Oh, okay, yeah. So obviously last summer you weren't necessarily there to see like the Killer Threes and everything like that, but we know Sonny's about to go on the
go.
world tour
Yep.
of traveling around, going to all these Killer 3s.
Bro, I'm a
games and
colleague
everything like
now
that.
with Malcolm.
Yeah.
100%.
That's fire.
So
go.
can you talk about, I guess, like your thoughts on like Sonny going on the Killer 3s, why like the Killer 3s and these like, DeGod events that Sonny's gonna be putting together for community members and whatnot who want to go to the games, why that's so important and kind of how the team thinks about those sort of things?
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, we've all gone to a ton of crypto conferences at this point, right? We've all gone to a ton of crypto events at this point, parties, whatever it is. I've always found that the most meaningful experiences you can have are when they're centered around some sort of like activity or game or some sort of nuanced event. These parties, like sometimes they have like an ice luge or like, different drinking games. That's kind of fun and cool and all. But it doesn't necessarily create a memorable experience. But owning the Killer 3s and doubling down on that strategy this year, obviously we brought Sonny on as the head of basketball, which is a gangster title.
This guy knows balls.
Relax.
No, but it's just about creating experiences for our community that are unique and can really build camaraderie around certain things. And so I think moving forward, we're going to do a lot more kind of activation style events. Maybe in the theme of what we did DNYC, the scavenger hunt, where you go and like make memories. You do kind of like things you wouldn't normally do in a given day or at a given crypto event. And I think the Killer 3s is a great example. Frank is a massive basketball stan. A lot of the guys on our team are. And so buying that team very much was like I think a childhood dream for them. And it's cool to see the community resonate deeply with it as well.
Sonny, what are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to this summer?
Oh yeah, I mean the summer is gonna be. I feel like last year was just crazy already, like off rip, doing it for the first year, getting to know the team, just like the different experiences and seeing the people that came out. But now having that experience and going into this season, like knowing what I do from last year and trying to blow this up even more with like content, inviting more people, inviting people from other communities. I think it's just like we want people to be fans of Killer 3s, right? Like you don't need to be a DeGods holder or a Utes holder to be a fan of the Killer 3s and a support. And I think it's one of those things where it's just like if you're, in the same way of like pro crypto, pro Web3 and just like this whole mass adoption thing, I think our team doing well and just people being able to come out and connect with other people while they're at a Killer 3s game and at some of the side events, it just like pushes us forward even more. And it helps bring like for those people to like eat. Like we had so many people last year that like brought their families, brought their friends, brought like all like different types of people in their life, and it's like they're interested in coming because it's a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just there's a certain just like regular type of event to it, and it's not just like, oh well, you want to come to this like NFT party that it's like I'm a holder on, like it's like it's a much different sell. So yeah, I mean, and honestly, like some of the alpha is just like you can very much network and connect while you're at this game. I mean, like it's literally a VIP box behind the half court of like where they're playing, and this box is just like free flowing, and it's just like an open bar and like buffet style food, and you can just walk around in there talking to other people while a basketball game is going on in the background. Like that's the VIP experience literally in a nutshell. So it's kind of just like you get the best of both worlds. And there's a bunch of people there that are like crypto adjacent, but in different ways from all different verticals of crypto and Web3, which is really dope.
Yeah, 100%. I also think the content is unique. And I'm curious, Sonny, like what your thoughts on for content this year for Killer 3s. But I think like when you see, all the content that comes from different NFT communities, and you see DeGods and they're at a basketball game. There's like 50 of them with DeGod shirts on, and they're having a good time, having some beverages, watching the game of a team that they own. I think it's just special and unique.
No, facts. I mean, honestly, like I think a lot of it is just going to be like, obviously, doing a lot of like the hype type videos for sure. But I think definitely focusing a lot more on like vlog and like mic'd up type of content while out there. Obviously like showing more of the experience itself of like holders coming through and everything. But I think the biggest part is just like going back to the like camaraderie and just like showing that part of our community. I think that's the most powerful thing that you can feel through any of this content, right? And I even go back to like what you were saying about like helping the dude in Ohio like get elected. It's like it's crazy because it comes down to that very core part of DeGods, which is that like community and the power of the like rallying and the power of the internet. Like that's always been what the fuck DeGods has been good at, right? And so like using that on something like getting a senator elected, using that on growing a basketball team within a niche like independent league, like all these different ways of just like getting back to that core of just like power of the internet and rallying and having like that community that's just so based and just like wanting to rally around this shit. I think that's where like that's the secret sauce.
I think we're learning a lot, honestly, from meme coins too. You know, because you see these meme coin communities, and there's certain meme coins where it's like they go up crazy and then they fall back down, and it's like, and you notice the people who are in the trenches when things are not looking great, right? And you start to see that, like, you know, there's certain meme coins. It's like the, you know, floor price, whatever. You know what I mean? Market cap of it is down tremendous, and yet there's still those like 5 to 10 people who are like die hard keeping that movement going. And then when that meme coin does rebound, everybody's super grateful for those people, right?
Right.
And so I think it's one of those things where we can learn a lot from meme coin communities in terms of like you mentioned earlier. It's like if you're fudding your bags, if you're pointing out that your meme coin bags are down 90%, you're probably not doing great things to be, you know, helping yourself out, right? But the people who are pushing the, you know, who are responding to Twitter accounts and they're posting about their meme coins, the people who are, you know, rallying people in Discord and or Telegram or whatever you're doing, you are helping the cause. You are helping that community feel that much better about where this is going, right?
100%.
And I think there's something super important about that. And I think, again, what Sonny's done a great job of is when you go to these DeGod events in the last year or so, you know, when you're at the Killer Threes games, you see all the fun. You see the camaraderie that comes from it. You see all the experience, the great experiences that people have. And then those people are going and they're telling other people about it. And they're showcasing the, you know, the great time that they had. And there's something, again, very powerful about that. There's the FOMO feel of people want to be a part of that. Hey, I look at these people, they're having a great time. How do I get involved with that? Oh, you buy a DeGod, or you know, you can come chill with us. You know, hey, you get a DeGod, you get a little bit more access to this, you can do blah, 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 whatever it may be. And so again, there's something really powerful about IRL events, the content that comes from that. And even for the people who can't make it to those things, you see other people having that fun or whatever, and it just gives you a greater appreciation for the community and all of that. I mean, we just got back from Austin, but it was like we were hanging out with a bunch of the X Plus guys, hanging out with Mav, hanging out with Alpha, hanging out with a bunch of those people out there. And it's like, you know, again, we're having a great time with those people. And it just gives you such a deeper appreciation, again, for this community, for everybody in it. And, you know, and so that's why these IRL events are so damn important, and why also we can learn from these meme coin communities of, like, keep that fucking energy even when things may not be the greatest, you know, whatever. The people who are keeping that energy are the ones that you really rally with and move with as things improve, you know?
Yeah, no, 100% agree. No, I actually tweeted the other day that, you know, I was listening to something on YouTube, and it was like, you know, you actually become the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? And crypto is full. Yeah. How does that feel for you two?
Fuck.
Do you think you're gonna get what do you think you're gonna get of me? My quickness, my
Nothing.
good looks,
Probably nothing.
my charmish personality,
Probably absolutely nothing.
my huge.
You know, see,
Oh, got that.
this is why sometimes I just wish there was an HR for this pod. You know, the type of things that we have to deal with. I mean, you saw off camera what we had to deal with.
It's heinous stuff.
It's
heinous stuff, yeah.
There's no.
it's absolutely insane.
Debauchery.
Aaron, do you
Yeah.
know what they're talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. Nah. Yeah. Aaron's shaking his head. No, he doesn't know what they're talking about. Heinous stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Marc off the pod is a completely different person.
Sonny, you're so charming and smart. Appreciate you so much. Why would you say that? But yes, go back.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean the gist is basically, you know, you become the people you hang around with, and crypto is like this traveling circus of like young, hungry internet natives who have this like ideological bent towards decentralization. They kind of like don't like the government. They don't like centralized authority, and they tend to be pretty smart, you know, and interesting people. And so I think IRL events, you go to them and sometimes they're awkward, whatever. There's like not an icebreaker that doesn't start flowing. But typically speaking, if you go to a crypto conference, you'll leave with like a good contact. It really takes 1 or 2 good connections every time you go to make the difference. And there's just so many interesting people in the space. It's remarkable. And it's a melting pot too. You got international guys from all over the world, different ages. Now a lot of women are coming to the space, which is great. But yeah, it's just like what a fascinating place to be, what a fascinating industry to work in. I think it's really special and very rare. I don't know what else you'd be doing that will allow you to travel to all these different cities, go party, go to all these different events, make a lot of money, have great conversations. It's just like the most exciting thing on earth.
I swear. I literally had someone respond to my story the other day that was like, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck you do for work. And I'm like,
I don't even know.
I'm in crypto. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm out here like different cities and yeah, just doing a bunch of wild ass shit, honestly.
Yeah, and here's the thing: we know that it doesn't make sense, all of it. Like it's like, you know, again, I had people that were like, "So what were you doing in Austin?" And I was like, "I don't really know." Like, I was going to events, I was hanging out with the
How
guys.
did you end up at the Kentucky Derby? Well, see, I have this friend that holds a lot of digital horses.
You ever heard of photo finish? So you can buy Crown on Cube.exchange. Oh, you don't know Cube.exchange? Okay, let's talk to you about that. Digital horses now. So yeah, have you ever ridden one? You know what I mean? It's like you can go down these rabbit holes. Dude,
What did that lady tell you when you were like, why wouldn't you
I was
buy
like,
digital horses?
I was like, because you can't feel their balls. I was like, ma'am, have you ever? We'll have to insert a clip, but I was like, ma'am, would you ever watch digital horse racing? She's like, no. And I was like, why not? She's like, because I can't feel their balls.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, they were a little wild out there in Kentucky.
Well, I mean,
sure.
you also, Sonny had smoked a joint with her, and it was her first time smoking in 40 years.
That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it.
No, and I'm not even exaggerating. She said, "quote unquote," this is my first time smoking in 40 years,
Oh, yeah.
and she was probably a smooth 65, so it adds up.
Damn.
Yeah,
Vibes. Yeah.
IRL events.
Yeah. I mean, we was out in East Denver. I remember that. That was insane.
Yep.
At one point, I started seeing fucking Malcolm getting off a sprinter with FaZe Banks, and I was like, brother, what the fuck is going on? But hey.
No, yeah, Banks is actually really
different
tapped in
shit.
crypto. I think, he's not like the celebrity meta, right? He's not like dropping a shitcoin or anything like this, but he is somebody who comes from the gaming world. Obviously, is like a mogul in that scene, but he's very deep on crypto. Like he's been in it for a long time. He thinks about the space, I think, in a very like high integrity way, which you don't see with a lot of these famous people. And what those guys are doing with probably nothing, I think, is going to be super important, because you have a celebrity who's big brained, right? He built FaZe, he built that empire, and he's super crypto native, and now he wants to basically evangelize crypto in like a fun, content oriented way to the entire gaming scene. And you have the emergence of GameFi. There's a lot of good projects coming out soon, so definitely keep an eye on those guys and know that the real deal, because it's going to be a cook for sure.
I think it's really exciting right now, the position that we're in from a content perspective, because I think, again, I've been in crypto for 8 years, and I've always felt like crypto's content strategy was always really like stiff and boring, or like way too infomercial style of like, here are the 10 coins you should buy right now for generational wealth, brother. Like, and you're like,
you do that a little too well, Mark.
Yeah,
have you made those videos before?
Well, if this podcast fails, I got to figure out what my backup is. So I'll just go show my bags. Let me tell you how Costco hot dog is. But it's like that's how that content was for a long time, and I was like, God, it just feels so cringe when I watch that shit, because if I'm watching that and I think it's cringe, then the person who's not in crypto is looking at it and going, you guys are so lame, right? But then when I think about like the current content that we're making right now, it's like I see people like TG who are, making epic content with Iggy. You got Soul Jakey who's making the most creative videos that we have in Web3. And honestly, outside of Web3, like we've gotten to see firsthand the experience of watching him create and come up with these really, really cool ideas. Working with Colton, his videographer, was unbelievably talented. Watching these ideas come to life in minutes. And that's been crazy. We've seen people like Ashen, people like Bex, people like JB, who's always done his thing. So many really, really talented people. Amy Street, Rasmer, like all these people were making incredible content. And it's like you could just go down the line and list a trillion people. But the thing that gets me excited about all of the great content that comes out of it is as like crypto continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, people are seeing the content that are coming out of it, and it's causing them to actually be curious about it, versus, again, the content of here are the 10 coins you should be buying caters towards a very specific, sort of audience. But content of like Sonny going to these basketball events and stuff like that, us going to the Kentucky Derby, it causes people to go, so what are you doing? I had 2 friends who picked me up from the airport yesterday, and they go, look for Marc's Cube hat. You'll know which one he is. And it's like, these are 2 people who now know about cube.exchange, who literally don't know anything else about crypto outside of they know about cube.exchange, right? Cool. All from a hat. And so, again, it's like content is helping lead that whole direction. The amount of people who have asked me who Sonny is because on Instagram, because they're like, who the hell's this dude you're always like traveling with, but you guys always have like fire content wherever you're going. Like, again, it's causing people to ask questions. And when we really
That's crazy. Nobody asked about you.
Oh, that's okay. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts. Anyhow, again, when you think about the role of content, it's like the role of it is to entice people. It's to get them interested and to get them to want to learn more about it, because you can't just run up to people. And this is what we've done for the last 10 years with cryptos. We've gone up to people. Hey, you need to pay attention to us. You need to pay attention to us. Come on, pay attention to us.
Yep.
And people are like, fuck off. You're annoying. You're like a fucking mosquito. But like now we are coming at it of like, hey, we're just going to do our thing. We're having a great time over here. And people are starting to go, hey, they're having a great time over there. What is that all about? And again, that's the role of content. Show them the fun that we're having. It's not manufactured fun. It's a genuine good time. And all we're doing is showcasing it. And that makes somebody want to learn more. That's what makes them want to ask questions. And that's how we onboard people in the Web3.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think content is probably the most underserved part of the ecosystem. And we're seeing now a lot more creators come up from the grassroots. I think the person who's going to win content in Web3 is going to be able to strike the balance between having fun, having a good time, doing like crazy stuff, stunts, things that are viral, and also intertwining like education, because it is really tricky. I think like we've been trying to experiment with this internally. We've done some vlogs and stuff of just us messing around, and then we've tried to do some of us working and strategizing and stuff like this. The ones of us messing around feel like a bit soulless, like there's no like material. Maybe they'll get a bunch of views because they're funny or whatever, but there's no actual like values driven mission or positive evangelism that's coming from it. And then the ones where we're just strategizing feel super boring. Like you don't want to just watch us like in meetings talking like about different strategies and whatnot. So I think somebody's going to come along. We're certainly making an attempt at it. But who's going to be able to strike that chord really well. I think like Thread Guy probably is the best example of this right now, where he's got like the cultural thing really dialed. He can talk about pop culture super well and engage all these people, but he can also go deep on the current metas, the tech, everything like that. So we'll see. It's a super interesting problem space though. And it's awesome to see like we had Rasmer over at the house, and OG comes over as well. And Pasta's on our team. Obviously these guys came from the content trenches and have made names for themselves. So definitely keeping an eye on it. I mean, question for you guys, like what is the driving force behind the pod? Like, would you guys have like a concrete goal with it, or is it just talking about the space, kind of doing like what you were saying before, or Mr.
You want to answer that? Let's hear your answer.
Oh, what's my answer?
Yeah, let's hear your answer.
I don't know. I think
you just want to hang out with me.
No, fuck no.
You guys need to do like, I feel like you guys roast each other so much. I would love to see like some sort of content about your actual friendship. Like you guys could like skip through a field together, hold hands.
It's your working relationship.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
No, it's actually like literally
like Valentine's Day 2025. You guys got to put out like a little love letter.
No, like literally,
you're trying to say we won't have dates?
Off
That's crazy. You hear that?
Off the camera too. We just roast each other all the time. It's literally this, just not on camera.
Yeah. Okay. With a few, every once in a while, we'll just be like, but tell me you love me.
Yeah, what was that? I was like texting you the other day, and I was just texting him just fucking like numbers, and I was like, we're gonna fucking run it up, and like, yeah, I don't know.
We have some fun. We have some fun.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think one, like, yeah, to your point, I think there's this aspect of like we're shaping the content right now, like all of us collectively in this space.
Yeah.
I would say that like I feel like the videos of you guys fucking around, while it feels like it might come off as soulless, I think the one thing that it does do is like it allows people to relate to you.
For sure.
Right? And I think that that in itself is such a positive EV, because there are like, you know, like I see fucking like, aside from like the like, you know, obviously we have like older heads in the community and shit like that too, but I think of someone like fucking like Young Jazz, like looking at y'all like doing your thing, and it's like he's probably doing something similar with like his little fucking group out like in fucking New Zealand and shit like
we
that.
Want to be
so,
I mean,
like,
we are just kind of like
Yeah.
we're a team of guys. We all live in a house together. We're building this project. Like we have this crypto bent, whatever. Like, but we do fuck around a lot. We talk shit. We have a good time.
and I mean,
so
that's
I think,
what it's about.
I think the best type of content is like you got to blend that with like some more deeper like plotting, theory, whatever it is, education.
100%.
Because then it kind of gets, it's like the bell curve meme. Like you want like the maximally smart and the maximally retarded. If you can kind of hit both of those things, then it's like S tier.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure. I think everybody's trying to figure it out, which is beautiful.
Literally.
It's fun to talk to all the different content creators because no one feels like they have it dialed. Everybody feels like they have tons of room to grow. I think you guys are very much in that camp too, like probably trying to figure out what is this thing gonna be, what is the vision, what is the goal, what hits with the community. It's super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's this like, there's just this overall aspect of like trying to like be able to do both. But like going back to your question about the podcast, I mean, I think like, well, like I approached Marc maybe in like December when obviously like the whole presidency stuff happened, and it kind of started as like a idea of just like, yo, I think there's just like a lane for higher quality like content on the timeline, right? Like obviously like Marc has the fucking equipment all up in here, the nice mics, the nice cameras, like the shit looks crispy on the timeline, and it's just like with that, you take that and then you take just like perspective that we have of being in this space for a long time, and it kind of started off as being like, I don't know, communicating to the community, and then I think from there it just grew into this thing of like, hey, like we have a lot to say from the perspective that we come from, but we also like do it in a way where it's just like we make it fun, and it's a little bit less about just like, we're not just gonna fucking hit you like technicals the entire time, or just like interrogate a guest or some shit. Like we're just here to have a conversation and allow people to come hang out with us as we talk about this stuff. And I think we just talk about it in a way where, I don't know, it's like I think it's easier to pick up on, and I think if we're able to like provide things that is simpler to digest as far as information in the space, then I think we're pushing it forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, too, like to Sonny's point, it's like, you know, with this whole podcast, we just want to have fun talking about the things that people enjoy talking about on the timeline, right? Mm-hmm. And so we want to do it in a way that's easy to digest, easy to understand it. And then, you know, I think a lot of people realize that, like, yeah, we do have a genuine friendship. Like, we talk on a regular basis. We travel quite a bit together. We get to have all these experiences together, and I think it then translates over into the content. And so, you know, we can talk about whatever's going on in the space, but we can also kind of have our fun with it. And again, it's like, it is that whole thing of like, yes, if you approach crypto and you're super stiff with it, then people are just kind of like, why would I want to be a part of that? Yeah. But then also, if you're too like joking around and fucking around, then there's no, you know, actual good conversation to it. Then people are go, okay, I don't want to listen to this. So it's finding that middle ground of like, yeah, we want to actually provide information and talk about what's going on in the space, but at the same time, we want to have fun while doing it. And I think we found that kind of good mixture of that. And then it's just continuing to, I feel like we both push each other in different ways when it comes to the content. And then, you know, and then we're around a good group of people. We're with Jakey all the time, Steve all the time, Wish, you know, all these different people, Ashen. And it's like, you know, we get to hang out with that group and we learn a lot from them and the content they're making. And I think all of us push each other to kind of take content to that next level. And I think, again, it's like, right now, there was a time period in space where it felt like we just didn't have any new people coming in. And so a lot of times it felt like it's the same audience talking to the same audience. But I've seen it, you know, from an IRL perspective or, you know, just in general, I'm seeing more and more people coming in. And so, and we're going to see more and more people who fly in the next year into crypto and want to get involved with it and everything like that. And so, with that, you know, if we can create content that's approachable and fun and light and people want to learn about it and you know, and we come across as like approachable people, well, then they know that they have two people that they can approach to talk to about this whole space. And that's going to make somebody feel that much more comfortable coming into it. And so, yeah, it's just having fun with it and, you know, and talking a whole lot of shit in the process.
How do you guys feel about like sponsored content?
Shout out Cube.exchange.
No, the reason I ask is because I mean, I've done a fair amount of like partnership deals and stuff with DeGods.
Shout out to D Mafia.
Yeah, shout out D Mafia for sure. But it's always interesting, like watching the emergence of the content creators and their partnerships with different brands and stuff like this, and how they talk about these things. Because it seems like the typical like ad read where you're just shilling like, you know, a product and all of its merits is kind of out. It doesn't really work in this space anymore. I don't know if it ever worked, to be honest, but I'm curious, like, how are you guys weaving in like the promotion of brands and stuff like this into your content? And are there any goals or gold standards in the space that you've seen that people like who do really well?
I mean, I think with it, it's a lot of times like the conversations we always have anytime anybody approaches us is, do we genuinely fuck with what they're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think when it came to like cube.exchange, for example, it's like we strongly believed in the team behind it and then the tech behind it. It was an easy sell. It's like, would we use this product? 1,000%.
Yeah,
we are
100%.
very much looking forward to when they have U.S. license, right? And like Bartaj, it's like I first heard him speak back in 2022, and so the first time I heard him speak, I was like, this guy absolutely gets it, you know?
Chad, yeah.
And yeah, and so again, it's like, I think when you look at it and you go, okay, here's a company who 100% gets it. And before we ever mentioned Cube on the podcast or anything like that, we flew to Chicago. We're with the entire team. We're at their offices and things like that. And it's like, and we were both like, yeah, this is an incredible group of people that we would love to be, you know, on the ground floor with all the way up, right? And so with that, it's like, that's kind of our approach with all of this stuff is like, what is somebody building? Do we believe in it? Do we believe in the people who are building that out? And do we think it's going to be here long term? Do we think it betters the space, moves it forward, and things like that? And then I think if the answer is yes to all of that, then making content is, you know, I think a no-brainer, right? You know, it's just creating content, again, that's fun, that gets people to ask the question, hey, who is that, right? So Cube, yeah, there's a lot of people who obviously haven't been able to experience Cube yet because they don't have the U.S. license. But there's a ton of people, and I know I get a ton of messages, I'm sure Sonny does too, of people saying like, man, I can't wait to use Cube.
It's
like
a sick product.
Yeah. And so, again, and because, you know, we're on the ground floor, we're able to, you know, say to them, hey, here's some suggestions. We would love to see this. We would love to see that. Hey, there was this user feedback here. And that's really cool because when you think about like the current ways that people are buying and selling crypto, they don't really have the ability to actually address the people who are building the product, right? And so we can say to them directly, hey, here's consumer feedback, you know, here's a way to better the product, right? So in a way, it's like if we can be a part of building out the space and making it better, we want to be a part of that. We were here when FTX happened. We know how much that sucked. So we don't want to experience that ever again. And that's why Bartaj and Jordan and everybody else who's building out Cube, we believe in it so strongly because, again, they're building it the right way and they're building it so that that sort of shit never happens, right? Yep. And so they're protecting consumers in a way that we've never seen before in the crypto space. So it's exciting. And I think, again, it's why we get excited about the team. We get excited about, you know, the product and everything like that, which makes it easy to make content around it because you truly believe in it.
Yeah, I mean obviously this KOL shit it's a very interesting topic for sure, and I think to that point of like doing sponsored content, right? Because like obviously Cube is one that you know they sponsor the podcast. We've gotten a chance to just like really build that relationship out, right? Like to Marc's point of going to Chicago and actually meeting with those guys, it's like, you know, you see if there's an actual vibe here. Like, do you also just fuck with the people? Like, it's not just like, do I fuck with the tech and everything like that, but do I fuck with the people? They fuck with us, and it's just like we're meshing, we're vibing, and like that's all good. But even like these other companies that I work with, like, you know, I'm working with this Cooties Ring, saw them, and like I actually like flew out early to go to their event in NFT NYC. Like NFT NYC was like Tuesday. Their event was the Friday before because it was at the end of Hacker House. And I just went on my own accord to go to that event, talk to them. I ended up meeting the founder. I ended up buying one on the spot over there and then talking to the founder afterwards. And then we're realizing, oh, there's like some synergies here of being able to do something together, right? And so I think like my main thing, like my main like process behind it is always just like, is there a more of a deeper partnership here than just like, oh, okay, you gave me X amount to like go do one shill post or two shill posts or something like that. Like, I'm not really that interested in that. Like, I think, you know, at bare minimum, like all of the like companies that I think I've worked with at this point, it's like we at least have like a minimum like 2 or 3 month contract in some sort of way, because it's like, you also want to see like, is what I'm doing effective for you guys? And like, are we both like mutually winning off of this, right? Like we did some things with Photon, like we did some things with some other companies, and it's just like, does it work or does it not work? And it's okay if it doesn't work, right? Like I think like that's part of exploring like whether or not it's a fit or not, and just like moving in the space. And yeah, I think it's just important, like even from a KOL perspective, it's like, do those brands that you're working with, do they align with like your platform?
Right.
And do they make you proud to talk about it? I mean, I think obviously when we were in the Kentucky Derby and we're there with Photo Finish and Cube and everything like that, it's like, it's easy to talk about Photo Finish. It's easy to show off the game and be like, yo, this shit looks crazy. Like, if you've never experienced it, like, why wouldn't you want to experience it after watching this, right? And so, you know, again, it's like, you know, the great part about the space right now is we got a ton of people who are building really cool things, which makes it easy to talk about and everything like that. So, honestly, even from like a meme coin thing, you know, we've seen so many cool people. Like we were just with 527 out in wherever we would just were, Austin, and you know he's walking around with the Chonky doll, right?
Yep.
And it's like, plushie.
Bro, I literally got like 2 of those at my house. And like so much merch, like
right.
fuck.
And it's like, it's easy to talk about when people are building cool shit,
Yep.
right? And so again, it's like, that's the best part about where we're at in the space right now is there's been a lot of people who've been building since 2021 and they've been doing it for a minute now, and so we're seeing kind of the fruits of that labor right now, and I think we're going to see more of that as we get it later into 2024, definitely into 2025 and things like that. A lot of the things that are being built are going to be able to be shown off. We've got new audiences that are coming in looking to learn about these things, and then you've got the people who are here to help explain a lot of it, right? So I don't even look at it of like, you know, like promo deals or any bullshit like that. I look at it in terms of like, we are the people who understand the space. We can help explain some of these things that are being built and kind of be a you know, conduit to explain, yeah, all the cool shit that's being built, make it seamless and make it understandable and digestible for everybody else, and to help answer the questions from people who have them and things like that. But obviously there's, you know, for us, it's like, it's real simple. If we love, you know, the people that are building the tech is cool, it's something we actively use, it actively betters our experience, well then, yeah, it becomes a no-brainer. Easy to talk about.
Yeah.
What about D-Mafia? How are you viewing all your partnerships that you've done up until this point? I mean,
wait, can you explain D-Mafia for people who don't know what
Yeah,
D-Mafia is?
certainly. I mean, D-Mafia very simply is it's a short list of companies who publicly purchase DeGods and Utes and enter the community. And the thesis behind it is that the value of a community can really only truly accrue to its own members. So in the past, we've done partnerships with different brands and teams where they pay us, the core team, to create content about them and promote it to our community. But in reality, there's an incentive misalignment where we're getting paid as the core team. Maybe the community gets an event or some sort of activation or, you know, a prize in points parlor or any of these things. But there's no actual incentive alignment between them and the team that we're working with, right? And so we'll talk about one team, we'll do a deal, we'll evangelize, we'll talk about it, we'll promote it, and then, you know, 2 months later, we'll do another deal. Now the community is expected to go and endorse and retweet and like and engage this other company. And this cycle kind of continues and you get diminishing returns. And so the thesis of D-Mafia is basically, let's take you know, all the teams that we love in the space, all of the products that we use, let's have them buy our assets so they're aligned and their incentives are aligned with our community, and have them join the community. Once you're in the community as a builder, as a team, we can talk about you in perpetuity all the time, scream from the top of our lungs about what you're doing in your product in a very organic way, because you guys are, you know, you're one of us now.
Literally.
And so it's less transactional and it has a longer term kind of vision for partnerships. I think this is how we're going to do partnerships moving forward for everything. Like, I don't think it makes sense really to take cash and just shill stuff willy-nilly. Like, we got to be aligned. We want these people as builders in our community. We send an invitation to D-Mafia. We do content. And then for them, it's great because building communities is the hardest thing to do in crypto, right? There's a few kind of blue chip communities that exist now, and building a new one is super, super difficult. The beauty of NFTs, though, is if you join D-Mafia or you join another collection doing the same thing, you know, now you can plug into this existing community with your brand and, you know, get a bunch of new users, get a bunch of new fans, expose your product to the whole ecosystem in an organic way. So that's the thought process. We have like 5 teams in there right now, and we're planning to slowly expand, but we're not in a rush. We want to work with people, to Sonny's point, who we really like, because that's how the best business is done.
That's a bar.
Shout out to Cube. They were one of the first.
Yeah,
on
Cube
the
kicked it off.
Mafia.
So yeah, Cube
Like,
made a pretty massive purchase, and we have some fun stuff lined up with them. So we're excited about it. But yeah, confidential.
There we go. I'll cut this part out. Is there anything we haven't talked about in this episode? This has been a banger.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I feel like we've
wrap it up from here.
I think
Cool.
we've hit on just about everything.
Put a condom on it. Wrap it up.
Yo, relax, bro. Fuck. Yeah, no, pretty much everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, cool. I'll wrap it up.
Cool.
Put a condom on it, if you will. Yeah. No. Excited to see some of those things. Excited to see what you guys are rolling out and everything like that. And if there's one thing we know about DeGods, there's one thing we know about Cube. Nothing small ever comes out of that. Like it's always pushing the needle, always doing things bigger. So excited to see that. But yeah, Malcolm, I mean, appreciate you coming on and allowing people to be able to get to know you more and kind of, I feel like everybody hears the name Malcolm DeGods, but they don't actually get to know you as much as we have. And, we get to hang out with you in
He's
LA,
him.
but you're him. You're
He's him.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's my first podcast ever, so broke the ice here. And yeah, you guys are legends. Appreciate all the hard work and the community building. Sonny, I'll see you at work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be there for
Had a basketball, you'd just be putting out jumpers. Do you worry about getting fired because your jumper's trash, or like how's that work? Just curious.
Mark,
general
I literally have video of me looking at you and being like, I'm gonna hit this shot right now, and then I hit it.
Was that the one that you hit before the game started? Because those don't matter.
What do you mean?
I'm a gamer. Okay, you're a practicer.
Practice? We talking about practice?
That's you.
No.
You were practice
No.
shooting up shots.
I
But when the
also-
game was counting, who was guarding you? Me. Lockdown D. Lockdown.
Stop ducking me on the court.
Okay.
Run me my 3.33 soul. When are we seeing Malcolm on the court? Does Malcolm hoop?
I can play a little bit.
Yeah?
I can play a little
You got a
bit.
little
I'm not
jumper?
trash, but I grew up like surfing. I didn't play basketball,
Fair.
so I'm not the best, but I can hang in a game.
Yeah. 100%.
Would you be better than Aaron?
Yeah, 100%. No, literally no question in my mind.
Oh, Aaron's giving us the stink face. Looks like somebody farted over there. But yeah, Sonny, honestly, I hope you report to work early because you got to work on that jumper. The jumper's terrible. It's terrible. It's tragic.
Word. Yeah, no, I'll get in the gym tomorrow.
It's all
Yeah.
about fundamentals, okay? Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Keep that elbow tight. You know what I mean?
Honestly, the only way to get fired is if you beat Frank on 1-on-1. He's super competitive. So if you beat him on 1-on-1, he gets pretty pissed.
Ah, word.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Sonny could crush him. I don't want earmuffs.
Yeah, I beat Frank.
Yeah.
And I never play basketball.
He also has no cardio, so if you just run, if you just run, he's fucked. He actually the first.
Bro, honestly, I just don't fucking understand how he be hooping in Vans.
It's crazy.
Like, bro.
Dude,
It's
he
crazy.
plays. Vans are like his game shoes.
Bro,
like,
I know.
He usually plays in slides.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll pull up to the court near our house. He's playing in slides.
Bro, I'm like, he almost fucking, like, last year or whatever during that NFT LA when he came out to the run, he almost, like, rolled his fucking ankle and then just fucking, like, shook it off, put the Vans back on, and kept running. I was like,
bro's
bro,
I gotta
what
back
the
him up,
fuck?
my dog.
Like,
He's got a
what?
nasty jump shot.
He does.
He does.
I'm not, like
No,
when he's
he
on,
absolutely
he splashes.
does.
Yeah, he's a
Oh,
tank.
no, he
Yeah.
absolutely does.
Frank Steve Urkel with the jumper.
What does that even mean?
Bro,
Steve
I can't.
Urkel was a very smart guy.
Steve Urkel with the jumper?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. But he was always dressed very nice, or he was always not dressed for the occasion. So I'm saying it's Steve Urkel with a jumper. I don't know. Okay, listen, it's like midnight. I'm tired. My brain's not working.
Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no. Frank has a jumper. Frank has a jumper for sure.
Yeah,
He was hitting them half court shots and shit.
yeah. He's better than you.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, no. He's the best hooper in Web3, Frank.
TG, monster.
You hear that? That was a genuine comment.
TG's a fucking monster.
Yeah, no.
So you think he's better than Sonny?
Yes.
Damn, like that?
Wow. You just
Damn.
yeah. You
That's
pop his
crazy, Malcolm.
You pop his podcast.
You guys were
career
both
there
on the
and
dream
us.
team, so I mean, you guys are different. You guys play different roles in the court, but the kid's a beast.
Should we talk about?
But when
he
it
was the best of the three in that game.
But when it came to the ones, I'm king of the court still. So
You know.
You got a size advantage on most. The people in crypto are like nerdy. Like they're not like physical specimens like yourself.
What you want me to do about that? That goes into the game of basketball. No, but TG is nice. TG and Easy, they're both nice.
Easy's underrated. I think Easy might be number one.
How is Easy underrated? He's nice as fuck.
Well, because I'm saying he might be number one.
Okay. That's why we're on the dream team.
Nah, I fuck the dream team. I want to see you guys playing against each other. I don't like this.
We did that in Basel. So when we came to NY, it was like, let's come together.
Yeah, fuck that. I want to see you guys go back against each other.
Why?
It's more exciting. I want to see who's truly the GOAT. Okay, none of this dream team bullshit. None of this big three sort of shit. I know you're a Warriors fan, so you've got used to let's just pile talent together. Okay, none of that shit. Okay.
I'm from the Bay as well. I love the Warriors.
Yeah. Fuck out of here, Mark. Who the fuck are you a fan of? You're like a bandwagon Lakers fan.
Listen, because the Pistons are the worst franchise ever, so it's hard to root for them. So,
all right. Yeah.
You know what?
So then,
currently rooting for, I don't know.
who are you rooting
The Killer
for?
Threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Killer threes.
Yeah.
Truly
And that's a big three.
honestly, yeah, because there ain't nothing on the Pistons worth rooting for. So with that said, let's wrap up this episode. We're at the point of rambling. It's like midnight. I'm tired here. I know you don't operate on normal people hours, but I do. So
Yeah, Mark's a boomer, you know?
I am.
Mark's a boomer.
I am. So
That dad energy and shit.
daddy. energy.
No, bro.
Dude. All right.
Too far again?
Always. Like,
Too far again? Fuck, my bad.
what are you most bullish on, DeGods wise? Like just one thing.
Most bullish on DeGods wise. I think I'm honestly very bullish on getting the community more active and making more content. I think this is like our biggest, where we can improve the most is like putting out, whether it's different like bounties or activations or events or just basically like setting up the community to have experiences IRL and make content about it that are fun. I think it could be like a massive growth lever for us, and we haven't been doing that great of a job of kind of capitalizing on all these people. And so, yeah, we're going to be, Aaron is actually going to be running this initiative, but I think expect to see a lot more community content and content across the board, more vlogs from the team, more podcasts, more people on the team showing their faces, etc. But yeah, that's something that's very exciting. We also have a rule called no dopamine on the team, which basically means everything we're working on, with some exceptions, like this, for example, we're not talking about publicly. And so, yeah, we'll stick with that answer for now.
That's fair.
No dopamine.
No dopamine. No dopamine for you either. Okay, bitch. I don't know. Just wanted to call you a bitch.
Mark, I'll slap the fuck out of you.
Oh, please. I'll give you the people's elbow, okay?
What is the people's elbow?
It's a wrestling thing, WWE shit. I don't really know what that means. It just, they say it. I don't know. Okay.
All right, let's
we're-
wrap.
Yeah,
All right,
we're wrapping up this
Thank you,
episode.
Malcolm.
Cool.
Appreciate
Thanks, guys.
you.
Appreciate
You guys are
Malcolm.
legends. Cool.
We'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Oh, let's take a squat.
Wait. Are we still recording?
Yeah.
I got to give you something, Malcolm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got to give you one of these.
Oh, no way.
Of course.
So I'll commentate on this while Malcolm's opening this up. That's the funny thing about this. People don't know. The team members don't even automatically get the jackets. Sonny gives the jackets to whoever he gives the jackets to. So I said to him before this, I was like, you really got to give Malcolm one. Like, he doesn't even have one. So look at this. Open that bitch up.
I saw Max Wang has one of these, huh? You're in the trenches.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. The sniper gang, you know?
Sniper gang, yeah.
They're also part of D-Mafia, no?
They are part of the
They are.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Get the boy right. There it is. Looking good.
Oh, that's far.
There it is.
Max was like, I haven't taken this jacket off since you gave it to me.
I mean, it's hard to take off. It's too beautiful. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody full button it. I like it.
That's why Malcolm got his own sauce.
Yeah, you got that drip.
Yeah,
look
Malcolm
at
got
that.
his
Okay.
own sauce. Put the
Okay.
goggles on real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Full thing.
And then you got to look directly into that camera. Actually, you know what? Go mug that camera. Go up to that camera.
He said go up to that camera.
Yeah, go right up to it. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
I love to see it. That's fire.
Who knows if he even... I don't even know what the camera picked up there. But yeah,
Listen,
looking good.
the jacket looks fire.
Looking damn
Thank you,
good.
Sonny.
Of course.
There we go. There we go. Well, hey, appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll talk to y'all later.
Later.